Kendrick's Super Bowl performance gets 4 Emmy nominations. What up, words? Your boy Charles Brown back again, talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those Cashapps to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. We all watched that performance. We all enjoyed it. Most of us, anyway. Most of us thought it was it was a sign of the times. It was one of the most eclectic. It was very, very well thought out, well planned. I didn't see them make one stumble, even with the guy who, the alleged protester, right? I felt that Super Bowl performance lived up to the hype. Even though I was going in thinking it was going to be a different set list, he's going to do this, da-da-da. All of us were chattering about what he should do, what he shouldn't do, da-da-da. And they even had a video circulating of a choir. I believe it was an old video, but most of us didn't know how old the video was. But there was a choir rehearsing. He wasn't there, but they were rehearsing and singing his songs like they were part of the performance. It was a whole thing, but what we got was better than what I believe we expected, and I thought it was well thought out. We still got memes to this day about this performance, and it frankly was one of the fastest growing performances on YouTube from the Super Bowl. I believe maybe 1 or 2 maybe has more views than it, but I don't remember how many, if any, actually have any more views. But this thing skyrocketed. This was one of those moments in history that you just had to be there. You had to see it for yourself. It was superb. This guy went in front of let's just be honest, a kind of a hostile crowd. When you say why, Charles? Why was it hostile? Because they weren't trying to hear that message. Not on a Super Bowl Sunday. They weren't trying to see Uncle Sam as Samuel Jackson as a black Uncle Sam. They weren't trying to see that. They weren't trying to see gangbangers and this and that. A lot of the people that had an issue with it stated their issues with it on Twitter, and they thought it was, they tried a lot of angles. There wasn't no, where are the white dancers? It was a whole lot going on, gang. It was weird, and we got it. The culture got it. We understood what it was about, but some people had a problem with it. But for the most part, the culture, we celebrated it. We clapped our hands and stomped our feet and we're excited about what we were witnessing. We were so just caught up in the moment, and we were proud of what Kenny was doing, all right? But I want to read this article and have a conversation, because this is something we need to be talking about. This guy, he was nominated before for the last time he was in the Super Bowl with Dr. Dre and this, that, and the third. So this is him on his own, and this guy is still breaking records. He's still showing that he's just the one, gang. This is that guy that is doing hip-hop the way it should be done. This is every hip-hopper's dream. I'm not talking about just random pop rap fans. I'm talking about hip-hop heads. This is what you would expect a almost revolutionary artist to do when he hits the Super Bowl stage, all right? Let me read this and have a conversation. Kendrick Lamar has received 4 Emmy Award nominations for his record-breaking Super Bowl halftime show performance back in February. The iconic performance, which featured cameos from Samuel L. Jackson, Serena Williams, and Mustard, is nominated for Outstanding Variety Special Live, Outstanding Directing for a Variety Special, Outstanding Music Direction, and Outstanding Choreography, Variety or Reality. Kendrick previously won an Emmy for his role in the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show, in which he performed alongside Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent, who was hanging upside down, and Mary J. Blige. Lamar is yet to comment on the nominations. And the funny thing is, just like he said, people weren't congratulating him when he got that. It was all this controversy about Lil Wayne. They planted a whole lot of nonsense and distractions around it. Yo, Jay-Z gave it to him, da-da-da. We now know, in my opinion, and maybe a few of you, that Lil Wayne was, in fact, would have been a disaster choice. Lil Wayne is not fit for that. They had to rehearse for months. They had to be there on time. They had to be sober, like they had to be ready. And Lil Wayne would have done none of that. And Lil Wayne probably would have had a terrible show. Lil Wayne is not even making good music outside of performing. On top of the bad music, this is my opinion, on top of the bad music, I've seen quite a few lackluster Lil Wayne performances where, had I paid to see that, I would have been pretty disappointed. So we had the controversy of no one congratulating Kendrick publicly except Nas, and maybe, I don't know any more big artists that came out and said congratulations. It was a bunch of big artists. Like I think Boozy was upset that it wasn't Wayne. He publicly stated, yo, should have been Wayne, blah, blah. I believe it was Lil Boozy and a couple other people. And I believe Nicki Minaj had something to say, and quite a few people showed support for Wayne, which is, yo, he wasn't guaranteed that. I don't know why he went in that video with the big baby eyes, and he was like, yo, I'm devastated, I'm defeated, I'm beat down. Gang, you a grown man, don't nobody owe you nothing, you know that. He tried to say that the NFL told him he needed to schmooze more, he needed to get out and shake some hands and kiss some babies, and you most likely you're a shoo-in. Someone lied to him, told him he was a shoo-in, just needed to get out there more and be more visible, show some teeth, smile, and start shaking, rubbing hands and rubbing elbows and shaking hands, and Lil Wayne fed into it. He thought he had it locked in, but the controversy still is there. Did Jay decide on his own, or did New Orleans decide? But we do know that Jay-Z and New Orleans both have say-so in this matter. Now, a lot of people saying that Jay-Z decided by himself. He went rogue, quote-unquote rogue, and chose Kendrick on his own because him and Kendrick are boys. They got a group chat together, and this and that and the third. But I think it was bigger than that. Kendrick was the biggest artist of the year, and he proved that the Super Bowl numbers were higher than in history, the highest watched Super Bowl in history. It wasn't because the two teams, let's be honest, nobody's that gassed up to watch Patrick Mahomes again. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't just because the two teams. This was the most watched because of the halftime show, The Controversy, right? Let me continue this article. Samuel L. Jackson previously claimed that the performance was revolutionary. The iconic actor appeared on Paloma Faith's Mad, Sad, Bad podcast and said, quote, I didn't know what they were doing. It was kind of trippy because it wasn't until dress rehearsal that I looked up and I looked on that stage and I go, oh shit, that's a flag. Ah, fuck, we're being revolutionaries, because I wasn't listening or paying attention. It's funny. So he was just rehearsing and shit and didn't know what hell was going on. He just did his little part. And if you don't know what's going on, if you just say those words, they don't mean nothing without the whole thing. Samuel was wild, man. He a wild boy. That's my dude, man. Let me continue. Jackson appeared throughout the performance playing a version of Uncle Sam, essentially narrating Kendrick's show. As well as social commentary, Kendrick's Super Bowl performance made headlines for featuring a number of jabs at Drake, which they are mad about. They went back and revised the lawsuit game. The bubble bath rapper is really upset about this. He went and made it, I think he tried to include the NFL in the lawsuit and everybody else just because he lost that battle. Man, get in the booth, man. Let's stop this nonsense. Let me continue. As well as social commentary, Kendrick's Super Bowl performance made headlines for featuring a number of jabs at Drake. During the actual performance of Not Like Us, Kendrick self-censored the certified pedophile line, but smirked to the camera as he rapped. Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any chick that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. That's going to forever be hilarious. That is funny as hell. And if Drake had a sense of humor, he would have already came back with a retort, but he don't have one. So here we are in court. Let me continue. Dave Free, Lamar's longtime creative partner, previously explained to the Wall Street Journal the artistic intention behind the performance. Quote, we wanted this performance to have a cinematic and theatrical element to it. We can confidently say that there's no Super Bowl performance that's quite like this one. That is a fact. I know Beyonce did some risque stuff and she caught a little flack for her overly black Super Bowl, but that's what you're supposed to do. We're black people, and this is a black culture. So when you get on a stage like that, and you know, just to be honest, the Super Bowl, the NFL itself is 75-80% black driven, just based on the talent. And yes, the executives are not black, but the players on the field. And we got to represent our culture because no one else is going to do it. Let me continue. Free added that he and Kendrick prepared for the event by watching every single Super Bowl halftime performance, drawing particular inspiration from Beyonce, Prince, and Michael Jackson's shows. And that's what I like. These guys didn't just say, we're going to do our own thing. They went back and watched, took notes, took the shit serious. A lot of us, I'm just going to be honest, we probably would just start making we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Instead of looking at, let's see what they've done before. Let's check out why these things were good in the past and why they weren't. Let's figure out how to make this thing a huge event full of pageantry and make it where people can go for years and say, that was awesome. These guys took this serious. It's a daunting task to try to ask these guys to come up there and make up a whole this is the Super Bowl, gang. Like a billion people going to see this. Everybody's going to have an opinion. You can't come up there and just run them back and forth and just rap. This is not about you. This is a cultural event. People are huddling in front of their TVs for this. You got to make it big, and I think they succeeded. Let me continue. The feel of it is Black America. What does Black America look like? And how to control that narrative of what it seems to be Black in America versus what the world's perspective of that is, he said. Listen, man, salute to Kendrick. Kendrick, you did a great job. I was nervous. I'm always nervous when it comes to these big things about when Kendrick got these big world stages. And I'm like, yo, I just hope that he is able to live and be as big as that moment is. And he has not let me down. The tour was amazing. The Super Bowl was amazing. The album was amazing. Bro is in his GOAT phase. This is where we separate the men from the boys, right? So salute to Kendrick, man. Those Emmy nominations, that's going to be a lot of people involved with that. The dancers, everybody's going to rejoice in this award. I'm sure he's going to win one of these things, if not all four, because what was bigger than the Super Bowl? Like, what are we talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the other nominees are, but they're going to be hard-pressed to say those things were better and bigger than the Super Bowl performance. So salute to K-Dot, salute to Dave Free, salute to Samuel Jackson, and just, you know, it is what it is. I'm proud of him, gang. Let's just be honest. I'm going to leave it at that. CLBMG. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. They got all kind of good flavors and stuff like that there. Also, every Wednesday night we go live, 9:15-ish, right? 9:15-ish. And we talk about hip-hop. We talk about a lot of things in the culture. And we talk about current news and things of that nature. Get about 200 people in the chat. Make sure you're one of them. All right? And every Monday night, we got this new show called Underground Edge Live, where we show videos from myself and others, and we just go in on some hip-hop shit. Make sure you tap in, all right? I'm going to catch you on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within, with the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin, with the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end, and then secured a spot with some goons and some kin, and then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh